The desert heat shimmered across the rocky terrain as Staff Sergeant Marcus Chen wiped sweat from his forehead, his eyes scanning the hostile landscape through his scope. The SEAL team had been pinned down behind a crumbling stone wall for 3 hours, ammunition running dangerously low. What started as a routine extraction mission in the remote mountains of Afghanistan had turned into a nightmare when insurgents surrounded their position from 3 sides. "Contact left, 200 meters," whispered Petty Officer Jake Rodriguez into his radio, his voice barely audible above the sporadic gunfire. The team of 6 elite operators had been sent to retrieve a high-value intelligence asset, but their helicopter had been forced to land 2 clicks away after taking heavy fire during the initial approach. Now they found themselves trapped in an ancient village, using its stone structures as cover while enemy fighters closed in from multiple directions. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Mitchell crouched beside Chen, studying her tactical map with growing concern. As the team leader, she knew their options were rapidly diminishing. The extraction helicopter couldn't return until they cleared a landing zone, but, with insurgents controlling the high ground and their ammunition supplies dwindling, creating that safe zone seemed impossible. Radio chatter filled her earpiece as command headquarters tried to coordinate support, but the nearest backup was still 40 minutes away. "Ma'am, we've got movement on the ridgeline," reported Corpsman Tommy Walsh, pointing toward a series of rocky outcroppings 300 meters to their north. Through his binoculars, he could see muzzle flashes and figures moving between the boulders. The enemy had positioned snipers in elevated positions, making any attempt to advance across the open ground a suicide mission. Every few minutes, bullets would crack overhead, keeping the SEALs pinned down and unable to maneuver. The intelligence asset they had come to extract, a former Taliban commander turned informant known only as Falcon, huddled behind the wall next to them. His information about planned terrorist attacks had already saved hundreds of lives, making his extraction a top priority for coalition forces. But now his value meant nothing if they couldn't get him out alive. Falcon spoke broken English mixed with Pashto, repeatedly asking when the helicopter would return, his eyes darting nervously between the SEAL operators. Explosions echoed through the valley as insurgents began using rocket-propelled grenades to probe their defenses. Each detonation sent chunks of ancient stone flying, gradually wearing down their protective cover. Chen counted their remaining magazines, less than 60 rounds per man, nowhere near enough for a sustained firefight. The team's designated marksman, Petty Officer First Class David Park, had been conserving his precision rifle ammunition, but even his exceptional marksmanship couldn't neutralize all the enemy positions simultaneously. "Command, this is Trident 6, Mitchell spoke into her radio, using the team's call sign. "We need immediate air support or artillery. Enemy strength estimated at 40+ fighters with crew-served weapons and RPGs. Our position is becoming untenable." The response crackled back through static. Air assets were engaged elsewhere, and artillery was unavailable due to nearby civilian settlements. They were on their own until the quick reaction force could reach them. Walsh checked his medical supplies, knowing that casualties were inevitable if the situation continued deteriorating. He had treated minor shrapnel wounds on 2 team members already, but more serious injuries would strain his limited resources. The team medic prided himself on never losing a patient, but this mission was testing every skill he had learned during his years of combat deployments. His hands remained steady despite the stress, a testament to the rigorous training that had prepared him for exactly these moments. As the afternoon sun reached its peak, the heat became almost unbearable inside their makeshift defensive position. Dehydration was becoming a serious concern, especially for Falcon, who wasn't accustomed to the physical demands of combat operations. Rodriguez rationed their water supplies carefully, knowing they might need to hold this position much longer than originally planned. Every decision carried life-or-death consequences for the entire team. Park adjusted his scope and took careful aim at an insurgent fighter who had exposed himself while changing positions. The shot echoed across the valley, and the enemy combatant dropped immediately. But, within seconds, return fire forced Park back into cover, preventing him from engaging additional targets. The insurgents had learned to respect the SEAL sniper's capabilities, making their movements more cautious and coordinated. "We're getting flanked on the right side," Chen reported, observing enemy fighters attempting to work their way around their position using a dried riverbed for concealment. If the insurgents succeeded in getting behind them, the team's defensive position would collapse completely. Mitchell knew they had to act soon, but every option carried enormous risk with their limited ammunition and no immediate support available. The sound of approaching vehicles added another layer of complexity to their situation. Dust clouds on the horizon indicated that insurgent reinforcements were arriving, likely bringing additional weapons and fighters to overwhelm the surrounded SEAL team. Time was running out, and conventional military tactics weren't providing solutions to their increasingly desperate circumstances. The team that had successfully completed dozens of missions together now faced their greatest challenge yet. Rodriguez checked his demolitions kit, considering whether their explosive charges could create enough chaos to allow an escape route. But, with Falcon in tow and enemy positions scattered across multiple terrains, a fighting withdrawal seemed nearly impossible. The team's reputation for never leaving anyone behind was about to be tested under the most extreme conditions imaginable. "Sir, I've got eyes on what looks like a lone figure moving through the rocks about 800 meters northeast," Walsh reported, studying the distant mountainside through his optics. The figure appeared to be moving independently, not with the insurgent groups they had been tracking. In a combat zone where every unknown person could represent a threat, this new development added another variable to an already complex tactical equation. The mysterious figure seemed to be observing the battle from a concealed position, occasionally moving between rocky outcroppings with what appeared to be professional fieldcraft. None of the SEALs could determine whether this person represented another threat or a potential ally. In a region where loyalties shifted constantly and civilians often got caught in crossfire, identifying friend from foe required split-second decisions that could determine mission success or failure. The crack of a high-powered rifle split the air from somewhere in the rocky terrain to the northeast, and one of the insurgent machine gunners who had been keeping the SEALs pinned down suddenly slumped forward over his weapon. Chen blinked in surprise, scanning the hillside where the shot had originated. The precision and timing suggested a professional sniper, but no friendly forces were supposed to be operating in this area. "Did anyone else see that?" Park whispered into his radio, adjusting his scope to search for the shooter's position. Another shot rang out, this time from a slightly different location, and a second insurgent fighter dropped immediately. The remaining enemy combatants began shouting in confusion, their disciplined assault beginning to waver as they tried to identify this new threat. Whoever was out there possessed exceptional marksmanship skills and intimate knowledge of the local terrain. Lieutenant Commander Mitchell studied her tactical display, trying to understand what was happening. The shots were coming from positions that would require significant climbing expertise and knowledge of hidden routes through the mountainside. Each shot demonstrated not only exceptional accuracy but also strategic thinking, targeting key insurgent leaders and weapons operators who posed the greatest threat to the trapped SEAL team. A third shot echoed across the valley, and the insurgent commander who had been coordinating the assault from an elevated position 300 meters away collapsed. The remaining fighters began abandoning their exposed positions, seeking better cover as they realized an skilled marksman was systematically eliminating their leadership. The carefully planned attack that had trapped the SEALs was rapidly deteriorating into confusion and panic. "Trident 6, this is Guardian Angel," a calm female voice suddenly crackled through their radio frequency. The unexpected communication caught every team member off guard. No female operators were supposed to be in their area of operations, and the call sign wasn't in their mission briefing materials. The voice continued, "I have overwatch on your position and am engaging targets of opportunity. Recommend you prepare to move on my signal." Rodriguez checked his radio equipment, confirming the transmission was coming through their secure military frequency. Only someone with proper military communications gear and encryption codes could access their channel, suggesting this mysterious shooter was indeed a friendly asset. But questions remained about who she was and why her presence hadn't been included in their mission planning materials. "Guardian Angel, this is Trident 6, Mitchell responded cautiously. "Identify yourself and your unit designation." The response came back immediately, negative on unit identification due to operational security. "I'm here to get you home safely." "Enemy sniper in the bell tower, 2 o'clock from your position, approximately 400 meters." Park swung his rifle toward the indicated direction and spotted the muzzle flash of an enemy sniper who had been nearly invisible from their current position. Before he could engage, another shot from their mysterious ally eliminated the threat. The level of coordination and tactical awareness demonstrated by Guardian Angel suggested extensive military training and combat experience that rivaled their own elite capabilities. The insurgent assault began collapsing as more key fighters fell to precision shots from the hillside. Each elimination was surgical, targeting specific individuals who posed the greatest tactical threat while avoiding unnecessary casualties among fighters who weren't actively engaging. The professional approach suggested someone who understood both military tactics and the complex political considerations of operating in a civilian area.
Falcon, Mitchell turned to their extraction target. Do you know anything about female snipers operating in this region?
The former Taliban commander shook his head but then paused, his expression changing as he remembered something. There are stories, he said in broken English, of a ghost shooter who protects those who fight against the Taliban. Many fighters fear her because she appears from nowhere and disappears like smoke. Walsh continued monitoring the tactical situation while providing medical attention to team members who had sustained minor injuries during the prolonged firefight. The mysterious sniper's intervention had already reduced enemy pressure significantly, but they still needed to reach the extraction points safely while protecting Falcon. The intelligence assets information was too valuable to risk in a hasty withdrawal under fire.
Guardian Angel, what's your assessment of enemy strength and disposition? Chen asked, hoping to gain better understanding of the overall tactical picture.
The response came back with detailed intelligence. Approximately 25 hostile fighters remain, scattered across 3 main positions.
Primary heavy weapons neutralized. Window for extraction opening in approximately 10 minutes when the next group of reinforcements arrives.
The level of battlefield awareness demonstrated by their unknown ally was remarkable. She seemed to have complete understanding of enemy movements, weapons capabilities, and tactical intentions that would normally require extensive reconnaissance or signals intelligence. Park wondered if she had been observing the situation long before the firefight began, waiting for the optimal moment to intervene. Additional shots rang out in rapid succession, each one precisely timed to disrupt insurgent attempts to reorganize their assault. The remaining enemy fighters were becoming increasingly demoralized as their leadership structure collapsed and their tactical advantages disappeared. What had begun as a confident ambush was transforming into a chaotic retreat as the mysterious sniper systematically dismantled their operational effectiveness. Movement to your north, Guardian Angel's voice reported calmly.
3 fighters attempting to flank through the irrigation ditch. Engaging now.
The sound of suppressed gunfire drifted across the battlefield, followed by silence from the flanking position. The tactical support being provided exceeded anything the SEAL team had experienced from conventional sniper overwatch, combining exceptional marksmanship with intuitive understanding of their needs. Rodriguez gathered their remaining equipment and prepared for movement, knowing they would need to reach the extraction landing zone soon. The helicopter crew was monitoring their frequency and would return once they confirmed the area was secure. But getting Falcon safely across several hundred meters of potentially hostile territory would require continued support from their mysterious Guardian Angel. Trident 6, be advised your extraction bird is inbound, estimated time 10 minutes, command headquarters reported through their radio. Weather conditions are deteriorating, so this will be your primary extraction window. The pressure to move quickly was mounting, but rushing across open ground without proper reconnaissance could prove fatal if any insurgent positions remained active. Chen studied the route to their extraction point through his binoculars, identifying potential cover positions and danger areas. The path included several choke points where enemy fighters could establish effective ambush positions, making Overwatch support absolutely critical for mission success. Their ammunition supplies remained critically low, leaving little margin for error if they encountered additional resistance. Guardian Angel, we need continuous overwatch during movement to extraction point Bravo, Mitchell transmitted.
Can you provide coverage for approximately 600 meters of movement across mixed terrain?
The response was immediate and confident, affirmative, Trident 6. I have multiple firing positions prepared and complete visibility of your route. You will have continuous protection. The professional competence and tactical expertise demonstrated by their unknown ally continued to impress the experienced SEAL operators. Every communication revealed deeper understanding of military procedures and battlefield dynamics that suggested extensive special operations experience. Yet her identity and mission remained completely mysterious, adding an element of intrigue to an already complex situation. Park made final adjustments to his equipment and prepared to move, grateful for the exceptional support they were receiving but curious about the woman who had appeared at exactly the right moment. The timing seemed too perfect to be coincidental, raising questions about whether Guardian Angel had been tracking their mission from the beginning or if her presence represented an extraordinary stroke of luck during their moment of greatest need. Mitchell gave the signal, and the SEAL team began their tactical movement toward the extraction point, maintaining proper spacing while Guardian Angel provided overwatch from her concealed position. Each step across the rocky terrain required careful coordination, with team members covering potential threat areas while protecting Falcon during the dangerous withdrawal. The sound of approaching helicopters grew louder, indicating their ride home was almost within reach. Halfway to the landing zone, insurgent fighters attempted one final ambush from a cluster of abandoned buildings. Before the SEALs could identify the threat, precise rifle fire from Guardian Angel eliminated 3 enemy combatants who had been preparing to engage with rocket-propelled grenades. The speed and accuracy of her response prevented what could have been a catastrophic attack against the withdrawing team.
How is she doing this?
Walsh muttered into his radio, amazed by the consistent precision of their mysterious supporter. Each shot demonstrated not only exceptional marksmanship but also perfect timing that suggested she was anticipating enemy movements before they occurred. The level of tactical awareness required for such performance exceeded anything he had witnessed during years of special operations deployments. Rodriguez spotted movement in the rocks above their route and prepared to engage, but Guardian Angel's voice came through their radios first. Negative, Trident 6.
Civilian shepherds with livestock, approximately 200 meters northeast.
They are not hostile and will clear the area momentarily. The ability to distinguish between combatants and civilians from extreme range while maintaining focus on multiple threat areas demonstrated remarkable training and experience. As they approached the final stretch before the extraction point, Falcon stumbled on loose rocks and twisted his ankle. Walsh immediately moved to assess the injury while the rest of the team established a defensive perimeter. The intelligence asset could walk but would be slower, potentially exposing the entire team to additional risk during the most vulnerable phase of their withdrawal.
Guardian Angel, we have a mobility issue with our package, Mitchell reported.
Need extended coverage for slower movement across final 200 meters.
The response was immediate. Understood, Trident 6. I'm repositioning to provide better angles on the approach to your landing zone. Maintain current pace and trust your training.
The extraction helicopter appeared over the ridgeline, its rotors creating a thunderous noise that echoed through the valley. The pilot expertly maneuvered the aircraft toward their designated landing zone while door gunners scanned for potential threats. Getting everyone aboard safely would require perfect coordination between the aircrew and ground team while Guardian Angel continued eliminating any remaining resistance. Chen helped support Falcon as they covered the final distance to the landing zone, grateful for the continued protection from their mysterious ally. Several more shots rang out from the hillside, neutralizing insurgent fighters who had been attempting to get within range of the landing helicopter. Each elimination was surgical and precisely timed to maintain security around the extraction operation. 30 seconds out, the helicopter pilot announced through their radios as the aircraft began its final approach. The landing zone had been selected for its tactical advantages, but it still required the helicopter crew to expose themselves to potential enemy fire during the pickup operation. Guardian Angel's overwatch would be critical during these vulnerable moments when everyone would be focused on getting aboard safely. The helicopter touched down in a cloud of dust and debris, its engines remaining at full power for immediate departure. The SEAL team moved quickly toward the aircraft while maintaining security around Falcon, who was struggling with his injured ankle but determined to reach safety. Door gunners provided additional suppressive fire toward suspected enemy positions while the team loaded aboard. Guardian Angel, we are extracting now, Mitchell transmitted as she helped boost Falcon into the helicopter.
What is your extraction plan? The response surprised everyone. Negative on extraction, Trident 6.
I have additional objectives in this area.
Good luck and safe travels.
The mysterious sniper who had saved their mission was choosing to remain behind in hostile territory for unknown reasons. As the helicopter lifted off and gained altitude, Chen scanned the mountainside through the door gunner's optics, hoping to catch a glimpse of their mysterious supporter. The rocky terrain revealed nothing, as if Guardian Angel had simply vanished into the landscape like the ghost stories Falcon had mentioned. Her professional fieldcraft made tracking her position impossible even with military-grade surveillance equipment.
"Command, this is Trident 6, Mitchell reported as they flew toward friendly territory.
Mission successful, package secured, but we had unexpected assistance from an unidentified friendly sniper using call sign Guardian Angel.
Recommend immediate investigation into who was operating in our area."
The response from headquarters was puzzled. No other special operations units were supposed to be active in that region. Park continued scanning the ground below, professional curiosity driving his desire to understand who had provided such exceptional support. The tactical skills demonstrated by Guardian Angel exceeded those of most military snipers he had worked with during his career. Her ability to coordinate multiple firing positions while maintaining perfect situational awareness suggested training that rivaled their own elite capabilities. Walsh checked Falcon's ankle injury and confirmed it was only a minor sprain that would heal quickly. The intelligence asset was relieved to be heading toward safety, repeatedly expressing gratitude for the rescue operation. His information about planned terrorist attacks would now reach intelligence analysts who could prevent future tragedies, justifying the risks taken during the extraction mission. Rodriguez reviewed their ammunition expenditure and realized how critical Guardian Angel's intervention had been. Without her support, they would have exhausted their ammunition long before reaching the extraction point, making mission success unlikely. The mysterious sniper had appeared at exactly the right moment with precisely the skills needed to turn a desperate situation into a successful operation. The helicopter crew maintained radio silence as they flew through potentially hostile airspace, but everyone aboard was thinking about the woman who had saved their lives and then disappeared without explanation. Her professional competence and tactical expertise raised questions about her background and mission that would likely remain unanswered. In the shadowy world of special operations, such mysteries were not uncommon. "Sir," the helicopter pilot announced over the intercom, "we're receiving reports of additional insurgent casualties in the area we just left.
Someone is still engaging targets down there." The news confirmed that Guardian Angel was continuing her mission, whatever that might involve.
Her decision to remain in hostile territory demonstrated remarkable courage and commitment to objectives that remained unknown. As they crossed into friendly airspace, Mitchell began composing her after-action report, knowing that intelligence analysts would want detailed information about their mysterious supporter. The tactical advantage provided by Guardian Angel had been decisive, but her identity and mission authorization remained completely unclear. Such ambiguity was unusual in the highly coordinated world of special operations. Chen watched the mountainous terrain disappear beneath them as they headed home, grateful to be alive but curious about the woman who had made their survival possible. Guardian Angel had demonstrated skills that rivaled the best military snipers in the world, yet she operated alone in one of the most dangerous regions on Earth. Her story, whatever it might be, represented something extraordinary in the complex landscape of modern warfare. The successful mission would be credited to the SEAL team's training and professionalism, but every operator knew they owed their lives to a mysterious woman whose identity and motivations remained a complete enigma. Guardian Angel had appeared when needed most, provided exactly the support required, and then vanished like a legend into the unforgiving mountains of Afghanistan. 3 weeks after the extraction mission, Lieutenant Commander Mitchell sat in a secure briefing room at Bagram Air Base, facing a panel of intelligence officers who had been investigating the Guardian Angel incident. Satellite imagery, communications intercepts, and battlefield forensics had revealed remarkable details about their mysterious supporter, but her identity remained elusive. The precision of her shots and tactical coordination suggested professional military training at the highest levels. "We've identified 17 confirmed eliminations, all insurgent leaders or key weapons operators," Colonel Harrison explained, displaying reconnaissance photographs on the briefing room screens. Each shot demonstrates exceptional marksmanship under combat conditions, with angles and distances that would challenge our best snipers. Whoever Guardian Angel is, she possesses skills that rank among the elite military marksmen worldwide. The investigation had revealed that similar incidents had occurred throughout the region over the previous 18 months, always involving a lone female sniper who appeared during critical moments to assist coalition forces. Local Afghan contacts reported stories of a woman warrior who fought against Taliban oppression, protecting villages and helping those who opposed extremist control. The legends were growing into folklore among both military personnel and civilian populations. Chen reviewed the tactical analysis reports, noting that Guardian Angel's operational pattern suggested extensive reconnaissance and preparation before each engagement. She seemed to anticipate where coalition forces would encounter difficulties, positioning herself to provide optimal support when needed most. This level of prescience required intelligence-gathering capabilities that exceeded those of typical military units. Intelligence indicates she may be operating from a network of prepared positions throughout these mountains, Major Stevens continued the briefing. Supply caches, communication equipment, and concealed firing positions suggest long-term operations rather than temporary deployment. Someone has invested significant resources in establishing a permanent presence in this region for reasons we haven't determined. Park studied the ballistics reports with professional interest, impressed by the consistency and precision of Guardian Angel's marksmanship. Every shot had been perfectly placed to neutralize threats without causing collateral damage, demonstrating exceptional fire discipline under pressure. The level of skill required suggested formal sniper training from an elite military organization, but no known units claimed responsibility for her activities. Rodriguez had been researching background information about female snipers throughout military history, discovering that several nations had produced exceptional women marksmen during various conflicts. The Soviet Union, Israel, and other countries had successfully trained female snipers who achieved remarkable results in combat situations. Perhaps Guardian Angel represented a contemporary example of this tradition. What about the communication intercepts? Mitchell asked, referring to the radio transmissions that had been recorded during their extraction. Technical analysis had revealed that Guardian Angel was using military-grade encryption and communication protocols that suggested formal training in special operations procedures. Her tactical vocabulary and coordination skills matched those of experienced special forces operators. The intelligence briefing revealed that Guardian Angel's activities weren't limited to supporting coalition forces. She had also been targeting Taliban commanders who were involved in human trafficking, drug smuggling, and other criminal activities that harmed local civilians. Her mission seemed broader than military objectives, encompassing humanitarian goals that transcended traditional warfare considerations. Local sources describe her as someone who speaks multiple languages fluently and demonstrates detailed knowledge of tribal politics and regional history, Colonel Harrison added. This suggests either extensive cultural training or personal connection to the area. She may be someone with local roots who received military training elsewhere and returned to fight for her homeland. Walsh had been thinking about the medical implications of Guardian Angel's solo operations, wondering how she managed health and safety concerns while operating alone in hostile territory. Military snipers typically worked with spotters and support teams, but she seemed to function independently while maintaining peak performance. Such operational capability required exceptional physical and mental conditioning. The briefing materials included testimonials from other coalition units who had received unexpected assistance from their mysterious ally. British Special Air Service teams, Canadian Special Forces, and German reconnaissance units had all reported similar encounters with a lone female sniper who provided critical support during dangerous operations. Her assistance transcended national boundaries and unit affiliations. Analysis of her equipment based on ballistics evidence suggests she's using a custom precision rifle system with ammunition that isn't standard issue for any known military unit, Major Stevens explained. The modifications and specifications indicate someone with advanced technical knowledge and access to specialized manufacturing resources. She's not using equipment that would be available through normal military channels. Chen wondered about Guardian Angel's logistics and resupply operations, recognizing that maintaining equipment and ammunition in remote mountainous terrain required extensive planning and support networks. Someone was providing her with resources, whether through sympathetic local contacts or connections to intelligence organizations that preferred to remain unacknowledged. The investigation had also revealed that Guardian Angel seemed to possess real-time intelligence about insurgent activities and coalition operations. Her ability to anticipate where conflicts would occur suggested access to communication intercepts or human intelligence networks that provided advance warning of developing situations. Such capabilities typically required institutional support rather than individual initiative. We've attempted to establish direct communication with her through various channels, but she maintains operational security that prevents identification, Colonel Harrison concluded. Guardian Angel appears when needed, provides support, and, then, disappears without leaving traces that would compromise her identity or mission. It's the most professional field craft we've encountered from any operator in this theater. Mitchell realized that Guardian Angel represented something unique in modern warfare, a highly skilled individual operating according to personal principles rather than institutional orders. Her mission seemed driven by humanitarian concerns and tactical necessity rather than traditional military objectives. Such independence was both impressive and concerning from an operational security perspective. What's our official position regarding future encounters? Park asked, recognizing that Guardian Angel might appear again during subsequent operations. The command structure needed clear guidance about how to coordinate with an asset whose identity, authorization, and objectives remained unknown despite her obvious capabilities and friendly intentions. The briefing concluded with instructions to maintain detailed records of any future Guardian Angel encounters while avoiding actions that might compromise her operational security. Command recognized that her assistance had been valuable and potentially life-saving, but questions remained about her authorization and long-term objectives in the region. As the SEAL team members left the briefing room, each carried renewed respect for the mysterious woman who had saved their mission and, possibly, their lives. Guardian Angel represented something extraordinary in the complex world of special operations, someone whose skills rivaled their own but whose motivations transcended traditional military structures. Rodriguez summarized the feelings of the entire team when he commented, "Whoever she is, I hope she stays safe out there." The mountains of Afghanistan had claimed many skilled operators over the years, and Guardian Angel's solo operations carried risks that would challenge even the most experienced professionals. Her continued success required exceptional skills, careful planning, and, perhaps, a measure of luck. Shen knew they would likely encounter Guardian Angel again during future missions in the region, and he looked forward to the opportunity to thank her personally for her intervention. Until then, she remained a legend, a ghost in the mountains who appeared when needed most, provided exactly the support required, and then vanished like smoke into the unforgiving terrain that had become her battlefield.